Happy Motivation Monday. This is Jessica Prater with J. Prater Consulting. And today I'm going to bring you a conversation with Teauna Upshaw. Teauna is an MBA, PHR, Senior Human Resources Manager for Schwan Cosmetics USA, which is an organization of 300 plus employees. Throughout her previous work experience performing in HR journalist, talent management, and staffing roles, she has been a strong vessel directly impacting business outcomes in a variety of industries. She's a published author with her book, Teauna Upshaw's Working Success. She has proven to deliver career-focused messages in her book, HR strategy in her work, and leadership to her peers. Teauna naturally ignites, informs, and inspires diverse audiences with empowering solutions to create action with positive results. Join us for this conversation when we're going to cover self-care, knowing yourself, understanding what drives you, and talking about how to really drive motivation from yourself. So if you and I were meeting at a local coffee shop, which probably we would pick the same local one if we were choosing one, what would you be ordering for yourself this morning?
Well, I would hope we'll be at Starbucks or something similar. I have a few, but one of my favorites is Starbucks vanilla chai with soy milk.
Ooh, that sounds really good. I may have to run out and get one.
Absolutely. Normally when I order that, I have to get a large because I drink it so fast because it's so refreshing.
All right, excellent. Well, love that answer. We'll let you get by with it because it's tea instead of coffee, but I like a good chai as well. So thank you for answering that. And I want to go ahead and jump into the meat of our conversation. So the question that I've been posing to folks that have been guests of my show is what motivates you in your career, in what you're doing every day? What is your motivation?
My motivation is people. Okay. I love to see people achieve and succeed. And how that happens is I love to see people transition or transform into whatever their desired outcome they want it to be. Small, big, or large. But to see that enthusiasm of someone who has achieved something is so inspiring to me, and it empowers me, especially if they've talked to me, if they've coached with me or been in one of my programs or just had a conversation with me, to be able to come back and say, guess what? I did this after we talked, or I did this and this was the outcome. That is what motivates me, to see one person do that, one person at a time, to really own whatever their individual success is. That is what motivates me. That's what keeps me going. That gets me excited.
But we all have bad days. And how do you really push through those bad days? Not just bad days for you, but days that you see your clients struggling as well. What keeps you going during those times?
Well, you got to have those days. So if I had to think of what keeps me going, problems keep me going, challenges keep me going, because it makes me see or try to figure out how to overcome and how to solve, how to get through that storm. Even when it's tiring, even when I am having a bad day, maybe I don't feel like dealing with a problem on that specific day at that specific time. Or maybe I didn't see that problem coming, which frustrates you, which says, I don't feel like dealing with this. A lot of times when that happens, what keeps me going is I have to find some me time. Everybody deals with me times differently. I personally deal with me time with my family or myself. So depending on where it is, either I just want to sit and be quiet and think it through and get over it, or I just interact with my family, because life is just that precious. And I ask myself, am I spending too much time having a bad day?
The question that I would have for you as well, people talk about self-care really often, and I think that's become a marketing ploy for, bubble baths, wine, chocolate, things that maybe the marketing industry has run away with. And you're really talking about this idea of me time. So talk to the listeners about how they gain some of that self-awareness of what really recharges them.
That's a great, well, there's a lot of things, and you're absolutely right. I am very self-aware, and I realized I was self-aware when I did things like a DISC behavioral assessment, or I read books on personal development and understood that situational leadership is self-leadership. And I'm a self-development junkie. Okay, so that was that's my me time. Is I was that junkie where I wanted to learn about me. How do I communicate? How do I acknowledge what's going on? How do I be better? And sometimes that question may have been asking people, what did I do wrong, instead of what did I do right? Okay, so you have to learn. You learn from that. I read a lot. um, as far as self-care, I work out. I got me a personal trainer. Her name is Sarah Morales with Champion Tone Fitness. And I've always said, I don't want a trainer. But when I begin working with her, someone else pushing me, someone else coaching me, that's me time. Because when I finish with her, that's another way I empower myself, or I feel good. Or even when I'm having a bad day and I go work out with Sayo, I feel so accomplished that, oh my God, that I just did whatever. I'm breathing, my muscles hurt, but I feel so good that I completed it. I succeeded. I completed one session at a time. So taking care of myself physically, also learning about how I should be eating, taking care of myself emotionally, um, financially, spiritually. I mean, and that's something that I talk about in my book, Teauna Upshaw's Work and Success, is the different pillars of success. And in order for you to gather that, they have to be balanced. So that's how self-care is important to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I just want to bring out something that you just said. So you talked about one little piece of self-care is asking for feedback, even when it's feedback that you may not want to hear. So tell the listeners how feedback, both positive and constructive feedback, can help with our motivation, or at least how it's helped in your motivation journey.
Absolutely. You got to be prepared to take action if you're going to ask feedback. Don't ask feedback if you're not prepared to take action. Feedback hurts. Feedback is uncomfortable. However, when you're uncomfortable, that means you are actually progressing. You are succeeding because you are stepping out of your comfort zone. If you continue to be comfortable, the question you ask yourself, are you progressing, or are you um, moving up, moving forward, doing what you want to do? So asking for feedback is so precious. It's so precious. It's so important. And a lot of times people are not going to tell you because they may not know how you're going to receive it. So it's okay to ask for that feedback. It's okay to say, tell me what I could have done differently. Tell me what I didn't do. How did you receive that? Because a lot of things, it's not what we do, it's how we do it.
I have behavioral assessments near and dear to my heart. That's something that I do as part of my business. And you mentioned DISC. That's a really great one that's out there. StrengthsFinder is one that I'm very familiar with and use in my practice. I'm getting ready to get certified in the Hogan assessment. So again, assessments that are out there are one piece of it. And I think assessments are easy for us to do because it's this tool and it's been scientifically validated and all this stuff. But the hard one that you're talking about is not just doing some of those behavioral assessments and introspection, but also going to individuals and say, how did you receive this? How did this impact you? I think that's a fantastic piece that we're not always willing to do because it hurts. And I love that reflection. And if you don't mind me asking, can you go through, you just talked about some pillars. Can you quickly talk about those pillars that you discuss in your book that's important for kind of building your whole working success life?
Absolutely. The pillars is financial, emotional, spiritual, physical, and what am I missing? Financial.
I put you on the spot.
You did. And that's okay. I should be ready. It's my book. I wrote it.
It's all
Financial,
good.
emotional, physical, spiritual, and that's social.
Very cool.
Social. Those are the pillars. And if one is off, it's going to domino effect into your full work and success package.
So I want to share your information with everybody that's watching this video series on the internet. So if people are interested in connecting with you, where is the best place to find you?
There's a few places. My company is Workforce Initiatives. So you can find me on Facebook at Workforce Initiatives. You can follow me on Instagram at Workforce Initiatives. I'm on LinkedIn as Workforce Initiatives as well. And my website is www.workingsuccess.org. And I am having a upcoming Working Success Conference on October 6, 2018 in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And you can register either via Eventbrite or you can go to workingsuccess.org, and that will actually put you in touch with everything of where I'm speaking or the workshops that I'll be having in this local area.